Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. So this is our last party of this set. The first two, Guru Nanak Sahib talks about those that are engaged in many kinds of worships, Asank Jap, Asank Pav. And then in the next one, he talks about those that are engaged in a lot of foolish actions and corrupt thoughts and corrupt actions, as well as murderers and bad people. And this one, taking the same theme ahead, now talks about the vastness of the universe, the absolute unfathomableness of the creation. He says, I'm going to read the pari first. Asank nav, asank tav, agam agam asank lo, asank kahe sir par hoye, akhri naam, akhri salaha, akhri gyan geet gun gaha, akhri likhan bolan baan, akhra sir sanjog vakhan, jin eh likhe tis sir nahe, jit furmaye tif tif paye, जेता कीता तेता नाव विण नामे नाही को थाव कुदरत कवण कहा विचार वार्या न जावा एक बार जो तुद पावे साई पलिकार तू सदा सलामत निरंकार जो तुद पावे साई पलिकार तू सदा सलामत निरंकार. So after saying that there are countless ways of worship and countless worshippers, and then on the other hand, countless corrupt folks and countless murderers and countless sinners, he now says, Asank nav, asank tav. There are countless places and things and countless names that have been given to them. Asank nav. Everything, every place has a name. Every species has a name. Every man has a name. There are countless names all around. You look at everything that is unique, it has a unique name. Whether you look at the flower kingdom or the animal kingdom or the humankind, I mean, there are names and more names and more names. So there are countless names. Asank nav, asank tav, and countless places. When you think about names, there are countless names given to Akal Purakh as well. Some call him Allah, or some call I hate to use the pronoun him for Akal Purakh, because we know by now that that energy is neither masculine nor feminine. So that essence, that energy has been given so many names. Allah, Akal Purakh, Dinanath, Deen Dayal, Vaheguru, Ram, Rahim, on and on and on. Asank nav. And then after giving Akal Purakh those names, we are fighting over them. You know, that's the fitrat, that's the nature of mankind. That we give names to this energy that is all pervading, and then we fight over it, over those names. Asank nav, asank tav. There are countless places. I mean, today we think, you know, this earth is vast. But beyond this earth, there are other planets. Beyond those planets, there are other galaxies. Beyond those galaxies, there are more galaxies. And this is what he's saying in the next line. Asank nav, asank tav, agam agam asank lo. Amazing vastness of this universe that cannot be comprehended. Agam, where our intellect cannot reach, where our thought cannot reach, where our senses cannot reach or fathom. We cannot understand them. Agam, they are beyond us. They are beyond our comprehension.
Gurbani, there are some shabads that also say there are countless universes. Quote Brahman, quote Thakur.
Yes, countless universes.
It's now theorizing about multiverses as well.
Absolutely right. The countless universes. And it's really a good data point to remember that this was written 500 years ago, when perhaps people still believed that Earth was flat and the center of the universe, right? and that the sun revolved around it, and those theories keep changing. But here Guru Sahib is giving a clear indication of the intuitive awareness that he had of endlessness of the creation. And what this body does is really brings us into that space of wonder, of vismad. Because once you realize that it's beyond comprehension, all that you can say is, Vaheguru, wow, wow, amazing, right? So this is what the Guru is trying to say in this bari. Asank nav, asank thav, agam agam asank lo, asank kahe sir par hoye. Now, we're very fond of giving numbers to things, and then the more we know, the bigger our ego gets. Oh, I know so much. I have read so many books. I have read so many granths. I have read so many scriptures. I have so many degrees. Oh, I'm doing yet another PhD. It's endless. We try to boost our ego and our pride through those numbers. In the spiritual realm, Guruji says that when you play this numbers game and you quantify the endless wonder of the universe, you're actually short-changing it. Sir par. It's not the right thing to do. You are at fault when you're doing this, because you are limiting the vastness of the universe, the vastness of Akal Purakh. By all means, do this in terms of praise. Go ahead and praise endlessly. But don't say that this is the final answer. I know it. I know how the world was created. I know how this happened. And most of us get into that argumentative state where our answer is the final answer. This is it. This is the right thing. It's not. Because whatever we know is our perspective. And our perspective may be vast, but it's still quantifiable. It's not endless. It's not huge. It's not immeasurable. Whereas the vastness of the universe, the vastness of the Creator is immeasurable. Asank nav, asank thav, agam agam asank lo, asank kahe sir par hoy. So don't even go there, the Guru says. Don't try. Don't try to quantify. Don't try to come up with an answer that limits, that puts an end to it, because you will shortchange yourself and shortchange the Creator. Shortchange that vastness. Or then al sirte par hoega. It'll weigh you down. You'll do a disservice if you do that. If you quantify the immeasurable, fathomless wonder of the Creator and the universe, you will be limiting, and you will be at fault. So don't do that. Asank kahe sir par hoye. And
then, what is not to say that people who speak much?
Pardon me?
People who speak a lot. Nothing to do with that.
No.
This is something to describe God, that I know something. Oda par ho jayega if you are able to quantify.
Well, that is absolutely right, that we're talking about the spiritual realm.
But it's so infinite that if you try to think you understand it all and think about it, you just get overwhelmed.
But I think the corollary of this...
About how great it is. I don't think he's talking about don't do it. He's talking about that's the overall theme, is one of awe and wonder at the infiniteness, right?
This party, absolutely, this party is of... It creates vismad. But here is a very vital hint about knowledge. That when you think you have the answers, you really don't have all the answers. And I think this can certainly be a reminder to us when we think we know it all. In any sphere, we don't know it all. We're always learning. There's someone else who will know more than us. And then to draw a line in the sand and say, okay, this is it. That's not right. Guruji is talking to us in the spiritual terms. But I think the lesson for us is also in our everyday life, that the answers are not always known. That ours is not the only answer. right? So to answer your question, I think it can be applied to other things as well. That don't limit yourself, don't come up with the final answer. Live in the wonder, live in the vismad, live in the glory, live in the amazing, amazing vastness that cannot be fathomed. Live in the wonder of that. Lost my spot. Anyway, Asank kahe sir par hoye. Akhri naam, akhri salah. And then he takes a turn here. And he says, but living in the wonder, you still have to use words. Everything is about putting words together. Our faith is that of the word. We're the people of the word, right? Shabad Guru. Akhri naam, akhri salah. But use the words for praise and singing, he says in the next line, because naam is also gained through akhar, through akshar, through words. It is the Shabad. Akhri naam, akhri salah, the essence of the universe. You will experience it through the Shabad. The naam, the essence will be experienced through the Shabad. Shabad Guru. Akhri naam, akhri salah. Through praise, the words, you will string them together in such beautiful ways that they'll become words of praise and endless praise. That's what it is. Our scriptures are a string of words. All scriptures are a string of words. All the praise that we do is based on words. You know, words are very powerful. And everybody knows that. We know that. We can build relationships with words. We can destroy relationships with words. The power of words has to be realized. Because they can construct and they can destruct. And the words have to be used with wisdom. And the words are best used with akhri naam, akhri salah. Those are the best words. Rasna, Gun, Gopal, Nit Gayan. Use them to sing the praises. Use them to chant. Use them to understand. Use them to convey. And have a dialogue that is meaningful. So yes, you cannot quantify. And you must not limit. And must not come up with the final answer. But use those words wisely. Use those words in praise. Use those words of wonder. Vaheguru is a word of wonder, of ecstasy, of amazement, of saying, there's nothing that I can say. After saying everything, Guru Nanak Sahib says that if I had 1,000 pens, I still wouldn't be able to write about it. If I had 1,000,000 tongues, I still wouldn't be able to say anything about it. So he does use the words, but doesn't come up with the final answer. Says there is no end. Having described everything, says that it cannot be described. It cannot be limited. It cannot be fathomed. Akhri naam, akhri salaha, akhri gyan, geet, gun gaha. Through the words you gain the knowledge. The knowledge of the spiritual realms and the knowledge of the world. Akhri gyan, geet, gun gaha. So engage yourself with words that are words of knowledge, of wisdom, of songs. What is a song? Song is some beautiful words put together in such a melodious way that it touches you, that it brings out the meaning and makes it very evocative. Words can be harsh, right? But Geet is beautiful. Geet is melodic. So use words to praise, use words to extol, use words that bring wisdom. Akhri gyan geet gun ka. Akhri likhan, bolan, baan, akhra, sir sanjog vakan. Akhri likhan bolan ban. There are two ways to communicate. Through the spoken word and through the written word. Use both. Use both those words to the best of their capabilities. Language evolves, and it evolves with the times. Make use of it. Be poetic, be lyrical, be succinct, whatever you want to be. Be pithy. Use those words. Akhri gyan geet gunga, akhri likhan. Write those beautiful words. Guru Sahib extols the importance of katha kirtan, sangats, where those words are used to describe that reality. Akhra sir sanjog vikan. This is very interesting. Humans use words and write. Akal Purakh has also written our lake in akhar on our forehead. Akhri likhan bolan ban, akhra sir sanjog vakan. Our destiny is written. What are akhars but lines that have different formations? The expansions of and the creation and the circles of those lines is different in every language. The script of Gurmukhi is very different from English, and Urdu is very different from both of those. And then you look at how the Japanese and the Chinese write.
It's interesting that some part of our destiny is written in our DNA. And the DNA is basically about 3 billion characters in each cell.
Wow.
To describe it, right? That's what DNA is.
Yeah.
And in a way, that is also letters.
That's also letters. That's also
Your
lines.
destiny, at least, is actually written in your DNA.
And those are the sanskars that you've come with. So akhri sir sanjog vakan. So those letters, those lines. So these are lines that have different formations, that form different languages, different scripts. And the lines on our forehead, the lines on our palm, we may not know them, but there are astrologers and what are they called, jyotis and all. They can read them, or they can pretend to read them. They make sense to them. The lines on our feet tell another story. The lines on our forehead foretell our destiny. And that has been written by Akal Purakh. Akhri sir sanjog vakan. What is our sanjog? What is our destiny? How do we come here? Who are we going to meet? What are the days of parting? What are the days of separation? All of that is written. All of that is written. We may not be able to decipher it, but someone who has a mastery of that, who has the intuitive wisdom, the knowledge, can read those akhars. But there are akhars that have never been written and never shall be written, and those are akhars upon the Creator. Akhra sir sanjogo kan jin e likhya, this sir nahe. The one who has created these akhar, the destiny, no one has written that entity's destiny. That Creator is beyond those lines, beyond those akshar, beyond anyone determining what that reality is. So coming back to the same philosophy, the same wisdom of not limiting it, of not defining it, of not counting it. Because, Bhai Singh says it in a very, very beautiful way when he starts describing, writing his expose on Japji Sahib. The very first party, the Mool Mantar, goes into, scores of pages, probably 100 pages he writes to describe just the Mool Mantar. And he says the problem about this language is that this language has been created by human beings and is capable of describing the world. How can I describe spirituality, unworldly, non-worldly things in a language that is worldly? There's a limitation. I can't. This is to be experienced. This is to be amazed by. This is to be struck in wonder by. So he says, understand this, that I'm very limited by the language. Whether it's spoken or written, I'm limited. And so is each one of us. But that limit does not confine Akal Purakh. That energy is beyond these akars and beyond these lines that determine everybody else's destiny.
The same thing Kabir Das ji also said. There is a Bani by Kabir Das ji, Bawan Akhri. He starts out with this. बावन अक्षर लोक त्रय सब कुछ इन्हीं मां है. ए अक्षर खिल जाएंगे, कोई अक्षर इनमें ना है. What is saying that you can describe this word, all the things in this word, everything by words. Bawan Akshar. He's saying Akshar. Akshar. 52 letters. The Bani ka naam hi hai, Bawan Akshar. So how you describe A for apple, B for... So Gurbani has talked about what is Ura, Era. So Kabir Das ji is starting out with this. He says Bawan Akshar, Lok Tray, 3 lok, means earth, space, underworld. You can all describe in these 52 words. Okay. Bawan Akshar Lok Tray, sab kuch hi maan hai. Everything you can describe in these words. A akhar khir jayenge. Ultimately, all these letters will go away. They wither away. A akhar khir jayenge. Oi akhar inme na hai. Oi, that Almighty God cannot be described with these words. He starts out with this. And then he says, Jeh bolte achha rawa. Whatever we speak, you can write all that with words. Jeh abol, the one indescribable. Jeh abol, the manna rahawa. So mind doesn't stay there. Mind just want to wander around these 52 words. And God is beyond those things. So Kabir Das ji said,
beautiful. Thank you. That sound is also unstruck. That's why it's the unheard melody. Because it's not of this world. It cannot be heard by the senses.
Yeah. Another place Kabir Das says, Kabir ji tusi keh rahe si, Kabir saat samunde mas karo. Kalam karo ban raha hai. Basta kagaz jo karo, harjas likha na jaye. Saat samunde, the 7 oceans, make it ink. Saat samunde must mean ink. You make the ink. But kalam karo ban raha hai. All the vegetation in the world, you make a pen. And that's the ink. Basta kagaz, basta means the earth. Earth becomes a paper.
I still cannot describe.
And you start writing with this. Your ink will end, your pens will break away, your paper will run away. Harjas likha na jaye. The glory of that Almighty God you cannot write.
Beautiful.
You use the word Shabad and Naam for Vaheguru, but he's beyond all Shabad and Naam. Naam as we know it, that's partly what the Bani is saying. The worldly Naam or Shabads are
We can
everything, but he's beyond all those.
We can experience, but we cannot relate it. It's like gunge ki mithai, right? You cannot. You can. Absolutely, the treasure. जिन ए लिखे तिसर नाहे, जिफ फरमाए तिफ तिफ पाए. That reality, that essence, that vastness cannot be limited, cannot be described, but it's the command, it's the hukam. Jif furmai, tif tif pai. Whatever Akal Purakh ordains, that shall happen. Jif furmai, tif tif pai. We are all subject to the hukam, to the akars that come from Akal Purakh. We are subject to those. They are beyond us. They are indescribable. They are not part of our language and lingo. But we're subject to them. Whatever that will, whatever that command, whatever that hukam, it shall prevail. Don't doubt that. Jif firmai, tif tif pai. Jeta kita teta now. This is beautiful. Vin name nahi ko thao. Whatever. We're going to be talking about now in the next half. Jeta kita teta now. Whatever, wherever the creation is, there is the naam, there is the essence. Jeta kita teta now. Whatever Akal Purakh has created, this universe, this nature, this kudrat, these universes, There is the essence, there is the Naam, there is the radiance, there is the Anhat. आप ही ने आप साज के, आप ही ने आप साजियो, आप ही ने रचियो नाव, दो ही कुदरत साजिए, which आसन डिठो चाओ.
So everything is made out of Naam.
Everything, the essence of the creation is the Naam. Jeta kita, all these universes, whatever has flowed in that spontaneous way, eka kawao kita pasao, whatever has flowed is the essence, the energy of the Naam. Jeta kita teta now, vin name nahi ko thao. There is no place, there is no dwelling, there is no planet, there is no universe.
So it starts with Sank Naam, Sank Thao, then you say Teta Kita Teta Naave Naave Naiko.
Vinave Naikata. There's all this, the universe, these countless places and countless galaxies and countless species. They are nothing, but they are the Creator's essence. The Creator dwells in them. You know, we cannot understand the Kudrat. How can we understand the Creator of Kudrat?
But you experience, I think you experience the awe more. Just to see, like when you're in a peaceful, the hills, something when you see that massive expanse, so you experience a little bit more of that. Rather than the city which you're sharing, you're probably any feeling nahi of awe, but just when you're kind of in those places, is it because it's the nature?
Yeah, you're close. Balihari Kudrat Vasya.
लाइट हुआ तो यहाँ पर ने भी कितना पसारा है कितना
So it's probably the nature then.
बिल्कुल कैनवस लग जाता ना ऊपर देखा ना ते मतलब ਅਸੀਂ ਕਿਤੇ ਕਿਸੇ ਵੀ ਨੇਚਰ ਚਲੇ ਜਾਈਏ ਜਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਹਿਲਸ ਕਹ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ ਤੇ ਉੱਥੇ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਕਿੰਨਾ ਕੁਝ ਬਣਿਆ ਹੋਇਆ ਹੈ ਵੈਸੇ ਛੋਟੀ ਜਿਹੀ ਚੀਜ਼ ਬਣਾ ਕੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਮੈਂ ਇਹ ਕੀਤਾ ਮੈਂ ਇਹ ਕੀਤਾ ਤੇ ਯੂ نو ਕਿੰਨਾ ਵੱਡਾ ਪਸਾਰਾ ਬਣਾਇਆ ਹੈ.
And you're absolutely right. When you sukh milda hai, you know, that's why Balihari Kudrat Vasya, tera ant na jaye lakhya. So I remember we were on a little catamaran in front of a glacier that was breaking, and there was this Caucasian woman, and she said, I wonder if anyone can look at this and see this amazing glacier just cracking and this thunderous sound, and then question the existence of God. It's like, who's doing this? What is happening? And I think at that moment, जितने भी लोग थे सिगे, they were like, wow, yes.
It's probably man who is instrumental in destruction.
Yeah, but beyond that,
God also makes and destroys also, and He destroys through us.
कई बार पसरे पासार.
But recent research by scholars at UC Berkeley has shown that people who live near nature and who gaze into nature a lot are more humble, and I think humility is part of this acceptance of a bigger power.
Yeah.
Sense of awe.
Yeah, that sense of awe.
Yeah.
So I think now neurologists and people who study human behavior, they are kind of coming together and recognizing some of the things that are there in Gurbani. You know, Gurbani tells us.
And you know, you sit on the beach and you look at the ocean and you keep looking at it, and suddenly you realize how puny you are. You know, I always look, oh my God, I'm such a speck, such a little tiny speck in this universe, and I just take one step into it and I'll be washed away. पता नहीं लगेगा है ऐसी कि नहीं सी. It does, absolutely right. It fills you with wonder.
And yet you identify with it. Naams and Mantra Jai Swarup, and you respect that you're part of something so fantastic that you are up there also at the same time.
Because you know what?
You don't have any ego, but you're one with my Guru, so it's both.
You know what, Guru?
But you're everything.
You know, Viji, absolutely correct. You experience it. Jo Brahmande, soi pinde. The macrocosm is in the microcosm.
Now, once the I goes away,
Yeah.
it becomes all big.
Yeah.
I and we become the same. So on.
Yeah. I am that. Yeah, I'm that. Yeah. So yes.
I have a question about, like, when you were talking about Naam and the essence of creator. So when we say Sat Naam, so then truth is the essence of creator, or
Yeah.
you could say
Yeah.
that, right? You could explain Sat Naam like that.
Cheta
Could
kita.
you do that? Could you explain Sat Naam?
Sorry, Alka.
No, I'm just saying, like when we say Sat Naam and we just say truth is the name, but instead of saying that, we could like to explain to kids. Could we say like the essence of creator is the truth?
Yes, yes. That's what it is. Because you know what, Alka is nameless. A naam hai, right? So Sat Naam is the reality that lasts, that's true, the essence that is everlasting. Jeta kita teta now, vin nave nahi ko thao. There is no place that exists without the naam. कुदरत कवण कहाँ विचार वार्या न जावा एक बार जो तुद पावे साई पलिकार तू सदा सलामत निरंकार. The same 4 lines that we have been dwelling upon and ending the previous 2 or 3 parties with. Kudrat kavan kaha vichar. How can I describe the Kudrat? How can I describe the vastness of nature? Kudrat kavan kaha vichar varya na java ek baar. All that I can do is surrender myself, come into that saran and give up myself, give up this ego, give up myself. Varya na java ek baar jo tud pave sai palikar. And what comes when I surrender? Then I come into the flow, into the saran. Jo tud pave, whatever your wishes, that command that pervades everywhere. Those akshars that write our destiny. Jo tud pave sai palikar. Whatever you will, whatever your command is, I accept, I bow to that. Tu sada salamat nirankar. Because at the end of the day, it's you and you and you alone. Tu sada salamat nirankar. I am here today, gone tomorrow. I am that puny mortal that we all experience in the lap of nature. Tu sada salamat. But you are there forever and anon. Tu sada salamat nirankar. Varya na java ek baar.
So Varya is for surrendering your ego.
Varya is to.
Not as sacrifice, because
there is no equivalent, Alka, of the word Varya na java. I interpret as surrender. I surrender.
I mean that makes sense, because I have a discussion with my son and like, how do you sacrifice yourself?
No, you surrender. So you give your head.
Just giving you ego, it's
you know,
I think at a deeper level it just means I'm overwhelmed by my love of you. It's kind of what that phrase means. That's how it's used. They even say about older women will even say that about children, Vali Jama, Koli Jama. I'm just so overwhelmed with how much I love you is what it says here. Right? And that's the sense in which it's always used.
Yeah.
Wow, that's big.
But I'm so overwhelmed. Haviji, I'm so overwhelmed.
I learned something.
Alka, I'm so overwhelmed that I've lost my own entity. It's so that's next step, you know.
Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you.
You know, when you love someone so much, right? You say, oh, at the end of it, I'm just one with you. We are not separate. Ek jyotoi murti, right? I'm one with you. I love you so much that I just don't exist without you. So that love that just effaces your individual identity and makes you merge with God. That's Varyana Jama. Starts with, I'm so overwhelmed with this love, this emotion, this thing that is bringing so much joy to me. And then I don't want to have my separate identity. I want to be just with you. I want to surrender to you. I want to become one with you. Varya na java ek baar, jo tud pave sai palikar. Whatever pleases you, pleases me. And that happens to a certain extent when you're in love as well. What you want to do, whatever you want to do, changes pretty rapidly, right? But in the beginning, you know, that first flush of romance, everything the other person likes, you like. Everything they want to do, you want to do, right? And then the ego comes, and then it's my way, right? But we come to that love of Akal Purakh. Jo tud pave sai palikar, tu sada salamat nirankar. You are forever there. And I just can bow to you and accept your will. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.